Bioinformatics.
So this is going to be one of the kind of instructional videos for how to get set up with your Amazon account for Bio224 in fall 2020. So to start, first thing you need to do is you need to go ahead and make an Amazon AWS Educate account. Now this is going to be separate from your Amazon account if you're already an Amazon member. What I tend to do is just Google AWS space Educate, and one of the first links that pop up will be this right here, AWS Educate. You're going to go ahead and click this, and you're going to click that you want to join AWS Educate. So when you first click on kind of join, it's going to ask you what kind of AWS Educate member you would like to join as. You guys are all students. Even if you're TAs, don't put educator. Go ahead and put student. You're going to click that. And then it's just going to ask you some basic stuff. The most important things here are that you correctly select California State University, Sacramento. It actually should pop up and you should be able to select one of the ones from the drop down, and that's really important. Then it's going to ask you for your name. I've got some stuff blacked out here. But importantly also is that you use your CSUS email. This is associated with how you get free credit for using AWS Educate. Everything else should be pretty straightforward as you kind of fill through and make your account. There might be a little bit of lag time from when you first apply for your account to when you get it. It could be up to 24 hours. So if you're not able to use your account right away, then just wait a little bit and let me know. It's not a big deal. Okay, so once you have created your AWS account, you can go ahead and sign in. Now I've already signed in on mine. Again, I'm an instructor, so you're going to see something a little bit different, but it's not going to be all that different. We're not going to do much here in Amazon Educate at all, really, for the whole semester. What we're going to be doing is using it to jump to the actual AWS server portal. And the way you get there and take your units and credits with you is you go to your AWS account here in the upper right. You can go ahead and click that and hit go to my AWS account. Now you might see some other stuff down here because mine's managed a little differently than yours. But if you hit go to my AWS account, mine it's going to ask me to sign in because I have a private account. But if you guys go ahead and just click that, you're going to jump right to something that looks like this. You're going to have in this upper right, rather than Clayton Visger, it's going to say something about education and whatever kind of name you signed up with. It's also going to say Ohio here. The AWS Educate free credits only work for servers based out of Ohio. That's totally fine for us. Don't change yours to Northern California like I have, or your credits won't work. Everything we do this entire class is going to be under this EC2, Elastic Computing Servers. We're going to click on this, but you don't always have to come down to this all services. Once you've gone there once or twice, it'll pretty much always pop up in your recently visited, so you don't have to remember that too much. Okay, so here we are. Everything from here forward, you're pretty much going to see the same thing that I see. First thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to make a cloud server. Now we've talked a little bit about this likely in class, or we will be soon. And again, at first you might have to wait for your Amazon credits to be approved and everything, but once you're ready, you may be tempted to go ahead and just hit this launch instance button. But I tend to kind of like you guys to do things from the screen you're typically going to see while you're working. So as soon as you get into your AWS EC2, I always recommend just going straight to the instance tab. This is where you're going to be doing pretty much all of your creating and launching and stopping of servers. So from here, you see I already have some servers. Don't worry about those right now. What we're going to do is we're going to make a new server. And so you can go ahead and hit launch here. And you're going to get some options for what kind of operating system you want your server to be. Now, everything we're going to do in this class is going to be Ubuntu. So you can go with this Ubuntu 18.04. In all reality, 16.04 would be fine as well. I think everything we do is compatible, and so we'll just go ahead and use the latest version. And something you'll see in bioinformatics is maybe down the road, you guys might pick a project that uses a software that needs an older version of Ubuntu. And so it would be quite easy for us to go back and make a new server of 16.04 or 14 or whatever. But for now, let's select 18.04. So one of the tricky things about your guys' AWS Educate account that's different from the past is that only certain servers are you allowed to use your credit on. And one of the ones that we're going to be using for the most part, and it's really important that you find that server first, is the M4 large. So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff in M4 large. We may also be able to use M4 extra large, but for right now, let's go ahead and make an M4 large server. And so we're going to select that, and then you're going to hit configure instance details. Everything here you can leave alone, and then we're going to hit add storage. Here you're limited as well to the amount of storage that you can have. And so we're going to limit that to 30 gigabytes of storage, and we'll keep that on a solid state drive so it works pretty quickly. And then we're going to hit review and launch. Again, we'll just see kind of a breakdown of everything we selected, and we'll hit launch. This is where Amazon gets a little bit different from probably something you've ever had to do for logging in. You don't have a password for your Amazon servers. Rather, you download a digital version of a hard key, basically. It's called a key file or a permissions file. And what you're going to do is you're going to make and download one of those. And you need to make sure that you never lose it. Because if you lose it, you have to make a new server. There's no way to get it back once you lose it. So what you can do is you can say create a new key pair, and you could name your key pair whatever you want. You could name it key.pem, or I tend to name mine like AWS. You can name it AWS edu, something like that. Then you download it. And see, it's a PEM file, so it's going to add that .pem on the end. Doesn't really matter. I've got this sitting in my downloads folder right now, and I need to put that somewhere where I'm never going to lose it. So maybe here I'll put it on my desktop. So now it's down here on my desktop, and I'm going to now hit launch instance. Okay, instance is now launching. We can go back to our instance screen. However you want to get back there. You can click this instant button if you want. And what you can see is that my 2 other instances or servers are stopped, which is good. That means I'm not being billed for them. And this M4 large server, and we can give them names while we wait, is currently pending. So I could call this my AWS Educate. And I'm just naming it that because that's a little different from some of the other servers I work on. You're probably only going to have 1, maybe 2 servers going at any given time. So that's not a big deal. Okay, well look at that. So now our server is running. It's ready to be used. I'm going to make separate videos for whether you're on Mac or whether you're on Windows for how to actually access your server. So for now, all I'm going to show you is how to shut down your server, because right now you're being billed to your credits per minute that this thing is running. If you forget and leave it running overnight, you're going to start losing some of your credits. We're using pretty cheap servers, so it'd be pretty hard to burn up all $75 or so that you guys get. But if you kind of do it many, many times over a couple weekends here and there, you might actually run out of credits and have to come out of pocket. So I've never had that happen with anyone, but just take it very seriously, particularly when we're working remotely, because I'm not there to remind you all the time. So how do I turn it off? I go to instant state, and then I go stop. Do not click terminate. This will delete your server. We don't want that. We just want to stop it. This is the equivalent of shutting down your computer. And so it's orange right here, or yellow, excuse me, and it's basically in the process of shutting down. Something to be aware, and I'll remind you guys of this. If you are working on a lab for an hour or 2 and you've left this screen up, the first time you right-click this, all this will pop up, and when you hit stop, it actually won't stop the server. It will just refresh the page. And if you close out of this page right away, you might not have actually stopped your server. So something I always like to do, I like to wait until I see that it's stopped, or I click instance again and refresh the page prior to trying to start to doing the instance stop. Okay? And that's how you start and stop servers. When you're ready to come work again, you just go instant state start. And at the end of the lab, instant state stop. And you'll never run out of credits if you follow that. Okay, so that was how to start and make a server with an AWS account.